Congratulations! You've maxed out your RRSP, TFSA, and FHSA. That's an awesome achievement. But now you might be asking, what's next? Where should I put my extra savings? In this video, I will walk you through 5 practical options to keep growing your wealth once those accounts are full. By the end, you'll have a roadmap to keep your money working for you. Let's get into it. First is to invest in a taxable non-registered account. In a taxable account, your returns fall into 3 buckets with different taxes. First is interest income from savings accounts, GICs, and bonds. This is taxed at your full marginal rate. Second, Canadian dividend income. This gets a tax credit. Because corporations already paid corporate tax, you only pay part of the personal tax on dividends, making them more tax-friendly. Next are capital gains. These are taxed at only 50% of your rate. The key takeaway is that tax efficiency matters in a taxable account. Over the long run, consistent investing, even in a taxable account, can build wealth effectively. Your next option is real estate investing through rentals and REITs. If you got significant funds beyond stocks and bonds, consider real estate as another asset class. There are 2 main ways Canadians often do this: buying rental property or investing in real estate investment trusts. First, let's talk about rental property. This is buying a house or condo to rent out that can generate a monthly income plus capital growth if the property value rises. It can be a great long-term wealth builder. However, it also requires a large down payment, usually at least 20%, a mortgage, and ongoing costs like repairs, vacancies, tenants, and taxes. If you do it, make sure rent covers your costs and consider talking to an accountant about tax rules. The second one are REITs and real estate funds. An easier way to invest in property is through REITs or real estate ETFs. Historically, Canadian REITs have been a strong performer. For example, the TSX REIT index has averaged about 9.7% annual return since 1997. For comparison, that beats the 7% average of the overall TSX stock index in the same period. So REIT offers a way to own a piece of big real estate portfolios with just a few $100s, and they come with professional management and diversification. Just keep in mind that REIT prices can fluctuate, especially with interest rate changes, and vacancy risk exists, as seen during 2020 to 2022. But as a diversified asset, real estate often behaves differently than stocks or bonds, giving you another layer of diversification. If buying a rental home, tread carefully. If you want simple exposure, a mix of 1 to 2 Canadian REIT ETFs could be a good addition to your portfolio. The third option are corporate investment accounts. This is something I personally use and recommend if it fits your situation. If you're incorporated, say a doctor, dentist, or other small business owner, your company offers another pool for investments. The big advantage is tax deferral. A Canadian-controlled private corporation, or CCPC, pays a low small business tax rate on its first $500,000 of active income, often around 9 to 12% combined. That means any profits you leave in the company grow on a bigger after-tax base than if you had paid yourself personally. In other words, you have more money working for you inside the company. However, there are important trade-offs to remember. Passive investment income, interest, dividends, rents, capital gains, earned inside a CCPC is taxed much higher, around 50% in Ontario, for example. If your company makes a lot of investment income, like a portfolio of bonds or stocks, you could lose the preferential small business rate on its operating profits. When done right, investing through your corporation can let you build wealth tax efficiently. But remember the eventual exit. When you later pay yourself via dividends or salary, those distributions will incur personal tax. So this is mainly about timing and deferral, not escaping tax entirely. Nonetheless, understanding how passive income is taxed and how to work around it is crucial for any incorporated professional. Number 4, spousal investment strategies. If you have a spouse or common law partner, you can shift income between you to save tax. On the RRSP side, you can contribute to a spousal RRSP. How it works is that you, the higher income spouse, put money into your spouse's RRSP and claim the deduction. Later, your spouse, who hopefully is in a lower tax bracket in retirement, will pay tax on withdrawals. The key rule is to respect the 3-year attribution window. If your spouse withdraws from the spousal RRSP within 3 years of your last contribution, the tax gets back attributed to you. So as long as you wait 3 years, this is a powerful way to even out your tax bill in retirement. Another option is the spousal loan. You lend investment cash to your spouse at the CRA's prescribed interest rate, currently around 4 to 5%, and your spouse pays you interest yearly and invests the loan. If your spouse pays the interest by January 30 each year, all the investment income stays in their hands at their low tax rate. In practice, this means more after-tax compound growth for the family. Just be sure to have a proper loan agreement and pay the interest on time so CRA accepts it. Then there's TFSA for both spouses. Don't forget the simplest step. Each spouse should have their own TFSA. If one spouse has unused TFSA contribution room, you can gift or transfer money to them. There's no attribution on TFSA income since it's tax-free. Next on the list is the Registered Education Savings Plan. If you have kids, an RESP is an excellent next step. Essentially, it's a special tax-sheltered account for your child's post-secondary education. You don't get a tax deduction when you contribute, unlike an RRSP, but everything inside the RESP grows tax-free. In practice, here's how it works. You open an RESP for your child and make after-tax contributions. The money is invested and tax-sheltered. When your child goes to college or university, you withdraw the money as educational assistance payments. The good news is the grants and earnings are taxed in the hands of your child or the beneficiary. Since students usually have very little income and lots of tuition credits, they often pay little to no tax on this money. Over time, this is a huge boost to education savings, and a lot of Canadians have flocked to this program. By the end of 2023, there was about $78.9 billion saved in RESPs nationwide, and over $17.9 billion in grants has been paid out since 1998. This shows how popular and powerful RESPs are. Just remember, RESP money must be used for education, eligible tuition, books, etc. If you don't use it, you can withdraw your contributions tax-free, but any grants must be returned to the government and earnings may be taxed. So always plan carefully. If you have kids, maximizing RESP contributions to get the free grants is usually the way to go. Maxing out your TFSA, RRSP, and FHSA is a fantastic milestone. It means you've been diligent about saving and investing. But remember, wealth building doesn't stop there. These strategies will help ensure you continue growing your wealth efficiently. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.